Ang datos po natin, nakikita pa rin natin na yung adolescent birth rate kung ilan ang bata na ipinanganganak sa nanay na 15 to 19 years old. Noong 2020, ito po ay nasa 24 per 100,000 or in real numbers, actual numbers, 121,896. Noong 2021, nasa 22 per 100,000 or 112,990. Noong 2022, nasa 24 per 100,000 o 123,362. Tapos nung 2023 po, nasa 25, tumaas, 25 per 100,000 live births or 132,157. Bakit po ito nakakabahala, Mr. Chair? Kapag ang ating nanay po ay nasa adolescent age, una po ang kanyang pangangatawan ay hindi pa handa physically, medically para magdala ng bata. Hindi po yan ang angkop na edad para sa matres at para na rin sa kanyang hormonal makeup para magkaroon ng anak. Ikalawa po is yung tinatawag na health-seeking behavior. Sa health-seeking behavior, gusto po natin na meron tayong antenatal check-ups. Ideally, 4 bago siya manganak dahil sa check-up na ito nalalaman kung kamusta hindi lamang si baby, ngunit pati si mommy. Kasi ang mangyayari po kapag hindi maganda ang kanyang kalusugan at ang kalusugan ng kanyang sanggol ay pag siya po ay nanganak, nagiging maternal mortality. Which brings me, Mr. Chair, to the point on maternal mortality ratio. Ang atin pong maternal mortality ay pinakamababa noong 2019 in recent years nasa 87 per 100,000 pero sumirit po siya papunta sa 182 per 100,000 noong 2021. Bahagyang bumaba noong 2022 naging 138 per 100,000 pero malayong malayo po yan. Sa ngayon po nasa panahon na tayo ng Sustainable Development Goals. Yung previous set of goals po, Millennium Development Goals, kung di po nagkakamali from memory, the target was nasa 50 per 100,000 or thereabouts. Malayo po yung 138. At dahil po dyan, Mr. Chair, i-connect ko na rin po, it was also part of the agenda forwarded to us, yung HIV epidemic. Ito rin po ay pertinent dahil ang isa pong hindi lang pala isa, ang pinakamataas na mode of transmission ng ating HIV ay ang sexual transmission sa pakikipagtalik. Sa ating datos po sa HIV/AIDS, up to 47% of new infections are from the young key populations na nasa edad 15 hanggang 24. Ang kwento po nito, Mr. Chair, yun pong ating mga kabataan na maagang makipagtalik ay mas mataas ang risky behavior at mas nahihirapan na kumuha ng mga HIV-related services. Makikita po sa datos natin na on average, yung ating pong mga young key populations for HIV, sila po ay nakipagtalik nung sila ay 16 years old at una po silang gumamit ng condom on average nung sila po ay nasa 17 years old. Kung bakit po, yun po yung mga kailangan natin tingnan at sa aming pakiwari ay baka yung impormasyon or yung commodity, yung condom mismo ay hindi nakarating sa kanila nung panahon na sila mismo ay nagsimula na sa pakikipagtalik based on our data. Having said that, Mr. Chair, nakikita natin na malaking bagay yung usapin na dito. The bill which we are also aware is being considered, yung ating pong substitute to SB 1979, the framing of the latest version is a national policy in preventing adolescent pregnancies. Even though it focuses, Mr. Chair, on adolescent pregnancies, it also touches on other disease and health conditions like we mentioned HIV, because the very same act which we hold so dear and so sacred in our culture has to also be guided by scientific information and means to carry it out in a healthy way possible. And in that case po, marami po tayong masusolusyonan, hindi lamang yung, ang sabi nga ho ni Secretary Arbosa, dapat hindi yan tinatawag na teenage pregnancy. Childhood pregnancy yan eh. Kasi nagiging hang up tayo dun sa 13 hanggang 19. Para bang nagiging legitimate siya. We're not saying it is legitimate, pero na-normalize na pag teenage na bubuntis. Dapat gulatin natin ang ating bansa. Hindi dapat nabubuntis ang bata. Ang bata ay dapat nag-aaral, ang bata ay dapat lumalaki at pinurpursue niya yung kanyang mga pangarap sa buhay. Hindi siya dapat nagdadala ng isa pang bata. Which by the way, to our understanding, we're not lawyers, but if it's 16 or below 16, it is statutory rape. So meron talagang maling nangyayari na parang whether it is a lack of information or a lack of access to the commodities or with due respect to our counterpart agencies, a lack of enforcement, the fact remains that childhood pregnancies are high, maternal mortalities are high, and many new cases of HIV are because of the young key populations. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Yusek Domingo. We'll call on Commission on Population Development.
Or Mr. Chair, time na ba makapagtanong sa
Yeah,
DOH?
we can pound some questions.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. Just a few initially kay Yusek Domingo. Doctor, a CSO in Puerto Princesa, Palawan, Roots of Health, has taught over 100,000 students and trained about 6,500 teachers in CSE for the past 15 years. Puerto Princesa is the lone city in the Mimaropa region that bucked the trend of rising adolescent pregnancy. So, masasabi po ba natin na yung CSE ay gumanap ng malaking papel sa pagpapababa ng teenage pregnancy sa syudad, Mr. Chair?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Una po for the record, it's Assistant Secretary, hindi po Yusek.
Sorry.
Baka
Asik.
mapagalitan po ako ng ibang execom. But
Okay po.
having said that, Mr. Chair, Senator, actually nakikinig kami kanina sa usapin po dun sa curriculum. At baka luma lang po yung nakuha ko, but it might be pertinent kasi historic po yung data sa Puerto Princesa. Yung nakuha po namin is the August 2016 K-12 Curriculum Guide. And I think in support of our colleagues from DepEd, malinaw nung napilitan na rin po kaming magpanggap na teacher. Hindi, kasi gusto natin pababain yung teenage and childhood pregnancies eh. So tinignan namin with age equivalence, doon sa grade 5, Mr. Chair, if DepEd, correct me if I'm saying it wrong, but to my understanding as a non-DepEd, non-teacher, the mention of puberty begins, at least in the 2016 curriculum version, at the age of 11, which is grade 6. In the second quarter, you will have a subject on puberty at ang pinag-uusapan nila, and also for the record, I'm flipping to the very thick, nagpaspasan ho kaming basa. Pero dun sa grade 6, no, malinaw, I correct myself, grade 5 po pala, grade 5, which is 10 years old. On page 48 of the 95-page document, nakalagay, changes during puberty, physical changes, sexual characteristics, hair growth, voice change, breast development. And then, pagdating ng grade 8, sa first quarter, Family Health 1, yung subject, doon pa lang ho papasok yung mas detailed. And what is the age of grade 8? Nasa 13 years old po yan, 13 anyos. Pinag-uusapan na yung gender and human sexuality in the document of DepEd itself, and which we support, correlate with values education, coordinate with guidance counselor. Nakasulat yung learning competencies, identify basic terms in sexuality, discuss sexuality as an important component. But more importantly, Mr. Chair, flipping through the same document, pag umabante tayo sa bandang second quarter ng grade 8, pag-uusapan na yung responsible parenthood. Kasama sa learning competency would be the importance of responsible parenthood and enumeration of the modern family planning methods, natural and artificial. So yan po yung nakita namin, and we tried going also back. I was listening intently, Mr. Chair, and we fully support no na parang ang sinabi ng RA 10354 is adolescent. So nagkalkal po ako personally dito sa curriculum. Wala naman pong nakitang mention on the sexuality below the age of 10 insofar as this version of the curriculum is concerned. Ang pinaka-earliest mention lang po was nung grade 2, which is 7 years old, yung family health sa third quarter, meron siyang curriculum learning competencies on expression of feelings. But even the wording does not refer to any sexuality. It just mentions na para bang ina-acknowledge niya na para sa isang tao, normal na magkaroon ng feelings towards each other. So yun po yung nakita po namin sa 2016 version, which we think connected to the question of the Honorable Ontiveros is germane kung bakit dun sa Puerto Princesa, if they were actually using this version as we appreciate it, then it is reasonable to argue na it is compliant with the law, 1054 section 14, and also napababa nga nila yung ating childhood pregnancies.